Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Convocation Center for today's PSAC West matchup between the Seton Hill Griffins and the number 13 ranked California Vulcans. My name is John Sape. Alongside me, as per usual, is my good friend, Mr. Nate Kurtz. Nate, how are you today?
I mean, you came out the gates with a ton of energy, and I mean, I guess I have to follow suit. I'm doing really good today. I mean, it's a good matchup. The Vulcans just came off of a really big win against the Gaydon Golden Knights, previously ranked number 13, but now they're down to 21, and I think we're in for an exciting matchup here tonight, are we not?
Oh, I believe we are, and when these two teams face off, it's a bit of a toss-up in some recent memory, but like you said, the Vulcans coming off of a strong performance against the ranked Golden Knights, a 99-84 victory. KJ McClurg, 30 points in that game. Zion Collins also at 20. KJ McClurg, your PSAC West Athlete of the Week. I mean, just a phenomenal all-around performance in that game and all season as well. KJ McClurg has been on an absolute tear. And Zion Collins in this game needs 3 points to pass Brent Kincaid for 9th all-time in California Vulcan scoring history. The Vulcan Hall of Famer who just got in recently, Brent Kincaid, longtime California Vulcan. And like you said, Zion Collins made it into the top 10 last game and only needs 3 points to pass up Kincaid to make his way into 9th. So it's a slow rise up the table for Zion Collins.
Yeah, and I think that's somebody who I think in the future, too, you're looking at a future Vulcan Hall of Famer. He's been a keystone to this entire athletic program, specifically this men's basketball program for these past few years. And, I mean, whether he's commanding the floor, whether he's scoring the ball at the free throw line, doesn't matter. Zion Collins has done it all throughout his entire career, and it's been a storied one.
We do have some starting lineups for both teams, starting off with the visiting Griffins coming in today's game 9-4, 4-3 in conference play, sitting in 4th place in the PSAC West. Starting lineups for them, starting off number 2, a 6'5" graduate student guard, Drew Green out of Baltimore, Maryland. And then also number 5, 6'9" guard / forward, a graduate student, Jimmy Moon out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Number 10, Caleb Whitaker, a 6'3" guard, 200 pounds out of Springfield, Virginia. And also number 21, Demetrios Sklavenitis.
So we already have a winner of the Nate game.
Yeah, Demetrios Sklavenitis got it. Not on the second time. A 6'3" freshman out of Greece, out of Glafada, Greece. And then finally, number 22. Number 22 now, Ryan Meese in the starting lineup, 6'1", senior out of Bethel Park. Originally was slated to be number 23, Gabe Gillespie, but switched it over to Meese right before we got started. And then for your California Vulcans, the usual suspects.
Yeah, you got number 0, Jermaine Hall Jr., the senior out of Baltimore, Maryland. Following him, Bryson Lucas, number 2, the redshirted sophomore out of Clarksburg, West Virginia. Number 3, Zion Collins, the redshirted senior, aforementioned here earlier, out of South Riding, Virginia. And then KJ McClurg, the best players that we've been talking about almost every single game nonstop. Number 5, sophomore out of Morgantown, West Virginia, and New Hampshire. Number 15, DJ Slaughter, the junior out of Manassas, Virginia.
Yeah, the usual suspects. The Griffins coming off a big win as well over the Rocks, 70-63 in that game. Green, 15 points, 6 boards. Sklaventis, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists for him as well. The last time these two teams played, February of last year, the Vulcans were able to bounce out the Griffins in the first round of the PSAC playoffs, 84-69. It was a tough game. Samuel Tabe, who has graduated in that game, 21 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists for the Griffins. And for Drew Green, 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 steals. And then for the Vulcans, Keith Palick, 26 points, 6 rebounds in that game. And then Cam Polak, 24 points, 6 for 13 from behind the arc in that game against Seton Hill. And so two teams that in Seton Hill's young basketball career here as a school have been able to make this a bit of a tough game for the Vulcans. 8-11 since the program started in 2014. But the Vulcans, after starting off a bit rough against Seton Hill, have won 8 straight games against the Griffins. The last win for Seton Hill dating back to 2019 in a 72-70 victory. So the Vulcans looking to carry on that winning streak against the Griffins here today.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just a testament to how good Coach Danny Sankum has built this program. I mean, going from Phil Alston and over to Keith Palick, and even though we haven't seen much of him this year, now we've gone to more of a KJ McClurg type of era, and it's been hard for these teams like Seton Hill to be able to take advantage on the offensive side of the ball and get those wins in.
In the center circle, nobody ends up winning the tip. It ends up falling into the hands of the Griffins, who will be going from right to left here to start this first half. Whitaker on the drive inside, trying to get it past Lucas. No good, and the Vulcans are able to grab the board and go quickly.
And we're already going to get a look here into the 2-3 zone as it's going to be a fast break the other way.
Whitaker over to Green in the corner, who dribbled off the shot. Over to Sklevenis now. Sklevenis up to Moon. Meese now. Sklevenis 13 on the shot clock. Nice pass inside. Green dribbling out, getting some inside leverage, swatted away by Hall.
Yeah, and what a pass by Sklevenis. I mean, A with the hair flow and B with that no-look pass straight down the middle to the paint over to Drew Green. What a beautiful play.
Yeah, a couple of Vulcans in this game showing off a new haircut as well. Hall, bit of miscommunication between him and Lucas. 2-on-1 the other way, and Meese able to get it past. Shot won't go. Second chance shot won't go either. But Seton Hill still remain with the ball. And Lucas able to seal that one away. A nice behind-the-back move to get away from Whitaker. Pass off to Slaughter now for 3, and nothing but net from DJ Slaughter, who gets us our first points of the game.
And that's always great to see. DJ Slaughter, definitely a quality over quantity type scorer. He takes the easy shots, doesn't take anything too difficult, and he's the guy that you want to go to for a reliable scoring hand in these early game situations.
Green answer back, and then answer back he does. 3-3 the score, 18-20 left to go here in the first half.
And I mean, that's not the person you expected to come from. Green shooting 9 for 26 on the year, only a measly 34% on the year compared to their normal three shooter, Ryan Meese, who's almost leading the PSAC in the three-point percentage department.
Nice swing pass from Lucas into Hall in the corner for 3. Not enough. McClurg gets the offensive board, but McClurg also takes a step out of bounds. Another turnover here for the Vulcans.
And I think one of the keys to this game, if you are the Griffins, is you need to shut down KJ McClurg. I know I mentioned it a little bit, but he's one of the best players in all of Division II basketball. He's 8th in all of Division II in points per game and tied for 7th in the three-point percentage.
30.6 boards in that game against Gannon. Whitaker inside, gets the right-hand hook to go over top of Hall. First lead of the game for the Griffins, 5-3, 17-38.
And I think that's so important for the Griffins, too, is to take the easy baskets. This is a tough defense to play against, so you want to take those easy shots and not try and play with the ball too much.
Lucas, that big frame, able to corral the pass from Slaughter. Now it's Collins in the corner for 3, and Zion Collins is now number 9 all-time in California Vulcans scoring, passing up the great Brent Kincaid.
That was quick. Didn't take him too long to get there.
That's point number 1,503 on the career for Zion Collins. Sklevenis trying to find some room, able to get it off to Whitaker, getting double-teamed, and able to pass it out to Sklevenis. Green now, 10 on the shot clock here for Seton Hill. Pass off to Sklevenis on the drive, just trying to work himself into his spot. Left that one too short. Lucas able to secure the board and keep himself in bounds. California quickly the other way, and Hall just cooked up too much on the pass to McClurg, and that one went out of play.
And a beautiful-looking shot there by Sklevenis, not able to find enough on the wrist. And what a pass by Hall, just a little too heavy there, and ends up in Mr. Tony LaRusso's arm.
Into the game here for the Griffins, there for substitution. Number 11, Kedrick Curtis, the freshman out of Baltimore, Maryland, getting some nice, valuable minutes early on in this young season for the Griffins, who, like I said, having a great start to the season, sitting in 4th place, only a couple games behind as Meese pulls up for 3. And like you said, Meese, the sharpshooter here in the PSAC, able to knock down his first 3.
Yeah, and I remember when we were making our stat sheets, I was stunned because it seems almost every single game Meese is taking at least double digits in the three-point department, and he makes them too, with 14.5 points per game and a three-point percentage of 41.
The Vulcans swinging a rock, but can't get the shot to go. Lucas with the board, and Lucas with the putback, and Lucas able to tie things up here at 8 as we're about to cross the 16-minute mark here in the first half.
And that's an important player to keep in the game as well. I know we mentioned it last week against Gannon, but when he gets into foul trouble, it's a big loss.
Sklevenis in the corner for 3, able to knock it down. And we want to talk about people you're not used to seeing shooting 21% on the season from behind the arc, but able to knock that one down here, 11-8 the score. Lucas inside. The Vulcans trying to break this 2-3 zone. Slaughter all the way out to Collins. Nice passing around the horn for the Vulcans. The runner, no good from Collins. Bit of an odd missed shot there by Collins. Green now on the drive. Nice way into the lane. McClurg had to foul him hard underneath. And Drew Green is going to make his way to the line after this media timeout. 15-20 to go here in the first half. The Griffins off to a quick 11-8 lead over California. And the Vulcans have found a bit of a struggle so far here.
Yeah, and I don't think it's necessarily as much as the Vulcans playing bad. I think it's the Griffins are just playing good. They've been taking those easy buckets, and they've been forcing California to move the ball a little too quickly in the offensive zone. And I mean, it's created some good scoring opportunities and brought them into an early lead.
And something that the Vulcans have been able to do quite well this season, but have had some glimpses of some struggles in the last couple of games, is letting up the three ball. I know in that game against Westchester, they really struggled, and that's how Westchester was really able to get that win. And on the season, holding teams only 30.8% from behind the arc, which was fourth best in the conference. But so far in this game, Seton Hill already 3 for 3 from three-point land. So something that the Vulcans need to be able to slow down to kind of withstand this pressure by the Griffins.
Yeah, and I mean, early on in the year, specifically before the game they had against Wheeling, that was even lower. I believe it was down near like 19 or 20 or something like that. They were first in the PSAC three-point defense, but against Wheeling, I mean, you saw that in that first half alone. I mean, that was what, like 10 for 12 or something? Probably even more.
Something absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean,
another thing absolutely ridiculous to talk about a little bit, the Vulcans in that last game against Gannon shot 70% from the field, or over 70%, which is, I think, one of the first times in PSAC history to a team to shoot that well from the field in a game like that. And the Vulcans were able to cap off a great game against Gannon.
And what's even crazier about that is that it's not brought up by one person. It's the entire team doing it.
Green able to knock down the first, 55.6% from the line on the season. Able to knock down his first. 4-point lead now here for Seton Hill. And Green makes them both. 13-8 the score, 15-20 left to go here in the first half of play. Slaughter inside, nice pass from Hall to find McClurg in the corner for three. McClurg no good. Fight for the offensive board, ends up going off of the hands of Slaughter out of bounds.
Yeah, this is already worrying if you're the Vulcans. And Keith Palleck's trying to heat things up a bit, put a bit more energy back onto the court. But KJ McClurg, as I mentioned earlier, shooting a near 50%. 50% from the three-point line. 33 for 67 on the year.
Three-pointer, no good. First miss from behind the arc for Seton Hill in this game. Pass in the corner now to Curtis. Moon, hand off to Green. Green gets it off to Dillon. 11 on the shot clock. Nice pass inside from Dillon, and Green able to finish.
Yeah, and that was defensive miscommunication there, and Coach Sangam not happy with that. Bryson Lucas, Jermaine Hall Jr. get tied up on the same man, and it creates an easy bucket down the lane for Drew Green.
Already 7 points in this game for Green, separating Seton Hill and California. They'll lead all in the pocket of Drew Green. Lucas bringing it back out, able to find Collins. Collins finds Hall inside. Hall, top hook. Gets it to go, and the foul.
Yeah, and this harkens me back a little bit to the first game they played last year, which I don't have this statistical category for, but if I remember correctly, it was an away game, and it was very tough for the Vulcans at first. They had some struggles. Trying to break the 2-3. And on the offensive side of the ball, they just could not get much done. And I think you're seeing a little bit of that here, too. I mean, they're just struggling to move the ball past the wing here. And I think what really is going to play testament is how they handle it in this first half and how they then carry it into the second.
Yeah, not a lot of teams play zone, period. And play a zone like Seton Hill is a tough find here in Division II basketball. That's a nice drive inside. Good take that time by Curtis. Couldn't get the roll. The Vulcans count their lucky stars as the basket seemed imminent. But there for the Griffins. McClurg, nice pass to find Slaughter. Now driving inside past Dillon. The mid-range jumper from Slaughter is money. And just like that, game tied at 15.
Yeah, and that's something you definitely want to see, and really you just want to see Slaughter on the board for the right reasons. He's had some turnover trouble so far in the past 2 or 3 games, as he had 8 turnovers in his past 2 games. It's something you don't want to see from this veteran point guard. It's something that so far in this game, he's definitely improved upon.
Dylan throws that one out of play and correct myself. Scores 15-13. The Vulcans down by 2, 13:23 left to go here in the first half. A foul on the floor. That time Dylan got a little bit too handsy on Slaughter, so that's going to be his first. The team's second. It's been a pretty clean affair so far in this game. Only 3 fouls between the two teams, which is a breath of fresh air compared to that women's game where a lot going on in that second half. A lot of fouls called, and it took a long time to get through that one, but team's making quick work of it here as Collins gets it off to Slaughter. Slaughter on the drive. Nice pass underneath to find Hall. Reverse layup with the right hand. Able to get that one to go.
Yeah, and I think we say it every single game, but one player you don't want to get hot, Jermaine Hall Jr. Again, captain of this team, veteran. He knows how to score, knows how to play defense, does everything right.
Green up and under past Hall. Can't get the shot to go to Hall. Able to pull in the rebound as well. Game tied at 15. California looking to take back the lead here on this offensive possession. Collins just getting swarms. Lucas inside looking for an option. Finds Collins. Collins able to get it to Hall. Hall can't quite pull it in. It's going to end up falling down and out of play. A few substitutions for both teams. But like you said, Hall in that last game against Gannon, 6 for 7 from the field, 12 points, was really doing great work. And like you said, he got pretty hot, but had to sit a large majority of that game because of foul trouble. But still really starting to hit his stride here as the season has gone on.
And I mean, what a season so far these Vulcans have had. I mean, when I was doing some digging earlier, they are now one of 13 teams in the entirety of Division II basketball who have lost 1 game or less.
Three-pointer no good from Brewer. It's Lucas. Up top to McClurg. Vulcan swinging the rock once again. A dart by Arnett, but Collins able to pull that one in. Nice hands by the redshirted senior. Lucas fakes the handoff, takes it out, now driving inside, loses control of it. Coach Sankum wanted the foul called. Nothing from the referees, and Seton Hill now looking to attack the other way. Belade gets it off to Brewer. Dylan, 14 on the shot clock here for the Griffins, pulls up for 3. Too strong. And the fight for the board. It's going to end up going off of McClurg out of bounds. A few more substitutions, and that'll be immediate timeout. 11:29 to go. Game tied at 15. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back here on CUTV, CUTV Sports 1, and the PSAC Network.
Regardless of the season, follow all the action with CUTV Sports. From the gridiron to the hardwood, the pitch and the diamond, CUTV Sports has you covered with almost 100 live games a year. With multiple camera angles, graphics, announcers, and replays for 37 seasons, CUTV Sports is your home for Vulcan athletics. Get out of the huddle and into the action with CUTV Sports.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Convocation Center. It's 11:29 left to go here in the first half. Game tied at 15, and after a bit of a quick start, the Griffins slowing down just a tad, but the Vulcans doing their best so far to catch back up. It's a game tied at 15. The Griffins started off 3 for 3 from behind the arc, now only 3 for 6, shooting 33.3% as a team, and the Vulcans, who last season had a bit of defensive problems, one of the best teams, or the best team in the PSAC in preventing field goals shooting. The team's only shooting 40% from the field against California.
And I mean, what a test this is for the Griffins so far. They've played very, very well so far this year. I mean, putting up a 9-4 record. They're 4th in the West. I mean, that's tough to do when you do have teams like Cal. You do have teams like IUP. And, I mean, that goes a lot by the three-point line. They've done that very well, and especially against this Cal team. I mean, I could span off how many different stats they're like top 25 in within Division II basketball alone.
7 on the shot clock. Mice pulls up for 3. Actually pass it off to and the walk inside against Belade. Kind of got everyone going there as Mice. Passed off the three-point shot. Game still tied to 15. The Vulcans looking to take back the lead. Just some aggressive passing around the outside, but stolen away. And now Whitaker on the drive, and Whitaker with a tough bucket over top of Lucas.
Yeah, and the Vulcans, again, just getting stalled by this zone here. They're not able to get it past the wing. And there's just not enough movement under the net that's able to force this ball and force the defense to move around.
McClurg on the near side. Gets it inside to Lucas. Turnaround jumper from him. Too strong. Moon jumps over everyone to pull in the rebound. And the Griffins now slowing things down here. Sklevenidis bringing us up the court. Mice and Moon play a bit of give and go. Mice gets the switch on to McClurg. Mice dancing. Pass off to Sklevenidis in the corner for 3. And they're able to knock down another.
And again, you got to live and die by the 3-point against this team. And almost a foul there by Jimmy Moon, but Antoine Arnett able to get the ball back. Easy layup for him.
Great awareness by Arnett. Able to follow up on the miss by Collins. Cuts the lead back to 2. Mice off the screen for 3. That one too short. And a fight for the board again. Going to get smacked out of play. Moon almost had it. McClurg almost had it. McClurg ends up tipping it out of bounds. A few more substitutions for the Griffins. Curtis and Green back into the game. Moon and Belade back to the bench for the Vulcans. Hall will make his way back in. Lucas is going to make his way to the bench.
And I know it's a very minuscule thing to note here, but Seton Griffins almost have a little bit of a height advantage here, which can play part, especially when you're in the defensive part of this game.
And a poor inbound pass that time by Sklevenidis, trying to get it into the backcourt to Mice. And great awareness by Collins, able to jump up and get it. Forces Mice to foul. So the Vulcans can only get the turnover, get the ball back. Mice picks up his first, the team's third. The players just trying to clean up the floor just a little bit.
And I don't know about that inbound play. I think he was doing his best Dak Prescott impression, just chucking the ball up there, seeing what he can find. And obviously Zion Collins saw that one coming, able to read that at the half court, gets the Vulcans another offensive possession here at the around midpoint of the first. How's
Dak Prescott getting astray in this game as Hall misses the turnaround jumper. Mice able to pull on the firm board. Whitaker now loses a dribble, pass it off to Sklevenidis, gets a switch onto Arnett. Sklevenidis working inside, right-handed hook, no good. Collins, quick board in the Vulcans, trying to get something going quickly the other way as Collins splits a double team. McClurg to Hall. Hall so patient, but nothing called. So there's a bit of contact underneath. Curtis, nice crossover to get it onto the right hand, trying to get past Arnett. And once again, the patience pays off. They're able to get that basket to go. 4-point lead for Seton Hill. A nice pass by Collins to find the cutting McClurg, who gets his first bucket and cuts the game back to a 2-point game.
And the Griffins, they are taking advantage of the fact that the Vulcans are playing a little bit of a messy defense here. Meese gets a late shot off. You're going to have 2 subs coming in for the Griffins. Coach Sankum's not happy.
Foul on the floor in the transition. It's going to go against Collins. His first, the team's second. Coach Sankum, like you said, not too happy about that foul call. Dylan to inbound here for the Griffins. Able to find Mice off the inbound. Mice able to blow by Arnett on the baseline. Can't get the layup to go. Someone behind me saying she's absolutely right. Looked way too easy for him to get there. And I think that kind of threw him off just a bit. But the Vulcans, once again, they'll take that. They'll take all the missed shots they can get at this point as Hall inside, trying to get some space right at the free throw line, just off the mark.
Yeah, and again, I mean, you saw it a little bit with Lucas too, but they're getting some easy shots there at the top of the free throw line and the top of the key, but they're just not able to hit them. I mean, when you're heading into the later half of the game, not only down, but when you've missed those shots, Very important.
And a blocking foul called on Arnett, who tried to get some good positioning inside on the driving Belade, but Arnett not going to get the benefit of the call. And that'll send Brian Belade, the sophomore, out of Shelton, Connecticut, a graduate of the Fork Union Military Academy, to the line to shoot two. So they will knock down the first. Camden Brewer back into the game, Mice to the bench.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a team that, I mean, you probably would want to send to the line. I mean, on the entire season, the entire team is shooting this an abysmal 66%. And, I mean, it's a stark contrast from what you see from the Vulcans, who last year, I mean, they were shooting a near 80%, and they're now down to around a 71.
But Belade able to make them both. Extends the lead back to 4 for the Griffins. Hall inside, bringing it back out, getting swarmed. That's the go button set as Collins pump fake, pass off to Slaughter for 3. And Slaughter again, hot start for him. 8 points, 3 for 3 from the field, 2 for 2 from behind the arc. Makes it a 1-point game. Dillon gets it off to Green. Green now trying to back down Slaughter. Green looking to go to work. Spins into Collins. Great help defense by Zion Collins. And the ball going all over the floor finally. Waiting for a call, and it will be a jump ball. Possession arrow favoring California. And that'll take us to immediate timeout with 7:22 to play here in the first half. The Griffins up by 1, 23-22 the score. And you would think out of all of the offensive weapons that the Vulcans have, that a player like DJ Slaughter would not be at the top of the list for the leading scorers. DJ, a great player in his own right, but not known for the offensive prowess, but leading all scorers in the game, 8 points, like I said, hasn't missed a shot, and he's been a big reason why the Vulcans are still in this game.
Yeah, and DJ Slaughter's 2.6 points per game on the year, and I mean last year it was around a similar number too. I believe it was like 5 or 6, because I mean he's not much of a scorer. He is more of a facilitator, and he's very good at commanding this Vulcan offense, especially now that Donald Whitehead Jr. Has been taken out. So I think it's important that you do get DJ to step up a little bit here and plays a key factor, and especially now he's got the hot hand. They're now down here. I know it's early and we're still in the first, but you know, it matters.
Yeah, and like I said, last season averaged a pretty similar amount of points, but that wasn't his job. Like you said, is to facilitate the rest of the offensive talent that the Vulcans have, and did a great job of that. Still doing a great job of that this season, but in this game already 8 points, a rebound, and an assist to boot. And like I said, leading all scorers, the Vulcans just not, from the field, I'm going to say they're not shooting very well, but they're shooting 50%, but it's Jermaine Hall Jr. struggling so far in this game. Has 5 points, but shooting 2 for 6 so far, so hasn't really been able to capitalize off that early momentum. But the Vulcans still have a chance to take a lead here. They haven't done it quite a bit. 23-22 to score after the media timeout. Hall now inside. Able to get to his spot. Right-handed floater, no good. Pulled in nicely that time by Whitaker.
And I mean, again, it's the zone that's coming back to strike them again. They're just not able to move that ball to where they want across the wing at the top of the key, and it forces them to make some passes and forces them into shots that they do not want to take.
Moon looking for an option to pass. 12 on the shot clock here for the Griffins. Dillon over to Green. Green just trying to get past McClure. Pass off into the Moon in the corner for 3. Collins able to grab the rebound after the long missed 3 by Jimmy Moon. Slaughter's pass just a little bit behind Collins. That one is going to end up out of play, and Coach Sankum just telling Slaughter to calm down. I mean, it was the right read, but just a bit unfortunate as that one went out of bounds. Substitution as Demetrius Sklovenikis back into the game. Sean Dillon to the bench.
And the turnover is already playing a huge factor in this game. I mean, the Vulcans already sitting at 8, and we're barely even through the first half. And I mean, you're seeing that on the defensive side of the ball, they're not able to communicate well enough, and they're not able to get the switches they want, and it's making opportunities down in the paint.
Moon pulls up for three, too short. Lucas, who just checked back in the game, able to get the board. Lucas up to Collins. Collins went up and got it. Missed the shot, but acted like a pass as that one went off the backboard straight to Lucas, who's able to get it to go. And the Vulcans reclaim the lead 24-23.
Yeah, and it's so important having Lucas and Zion Collins back. I know last year that team was kind of special as they were missing those two, yet still found a way to succeed as much as they did. Now having those two back, you've seen what it's done to this team. It's made them one of the best in all of Division II basketball.
Deep three from Brewer. That one off the mark, and a foul underneath the basket as Moon went a bit too strong into the back of Collins, trying to pull in the rebound.
And Moon's had a bit of a struggle recently. He's been shooting relatively well from the 3-point line, but when it comes to his regular field goal percentage, down to a 37%. And last game he shot 3 for 11.
Vulcan just trying to figure out what's making this Seton Hill 2-3 zone tick, but Slaughter able to find Lucas underneath, and Lucas with the height able to just finish that shot. It's a 3-point lead now here for California. Green, nice pass into the lane, but Whitaker couldn't hold on, and the ball's going to end up in the hands of McClurg and going to end up getting knocked out of bounds. And like you said, that's going to be the main importance as Seton Hill make a few substitutions, is the ball movement from California. Something that we know they do very well and very often is pass the ball around, and they're going to need to. They need to do it well if they want to still be able to break down this zone. Slaughter takes it himself on the drive. That one too strong. High off the glass. Whitaker able to get the rebound. Whitaker stutter, stop, spinning, pass it off to Sklevenegas in the corner for three. That one, not enough juice on it. Hall up to McClurg. McClurg blows by Mice, and McClurg with the right hand gets that one to go high off the glass.
Yeah, good to see KJ finally coming to life a little bit here near the end of the first. And I know we talked about in that first media timeout, it was a bit worrying because normally at this point KJ would have already put himself on the board, at around 8 or 9 points, but so far he's only down to 4. The only impact he's really made so far has been on the defensive end of the ball.
Green able to get inside and able to get it to go after the pump fake. 9 points now for Green. Still a 3-point game, 28-25, 3:55 left to go here in the first half. Very different game than the last time out for the Vulcans. Lucas inside, nice find to Hall, and Hall, I wouldn't even call that a rim grazer, just a light layup. And Hall able to get that one to go. And a 5-point lead, 3:45 left to go. Timeout, Seton Hill. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back here on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Network.
Come on out to the Convocation Center and support men's and women's basketball for the 2023-2024 season. The Vulcans are looking to put the PSAC on notice this year after both teams are picked towards the top of the preseason conference rankings. There will be 13 men's games and 16 women's games at home. Follow calvulcans.com for any update. All games will be live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Network.
Come out. Our team's going to be very exciting. We have a lot of good players. I think we play the game the right way, very up-tempo. I think we're going to be able to score some points. I think our defense is going to be great. Our guys have great energy.
Come to our games. I think once you get here, you'll really like what you see. I think it's exciting. These players put in a ton of time, a ton of effort to put out a good product on the floor. And like I said, I think it's super exciting, and you'll really want to come back.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Convocation Center. 3:45 left to go here in the first half. The Vulcans up by 5, 30-25 over the Seton Hill Griffins. Still John Sape and Nate Kurtz on the call. And like I said, a bit of a different feel to this game than the last one. I mean, that last game against Gannon, there was about 100 combined points already scored by this point in the game already, but sitting at 55 combined points. Bit of a slower tempo to the game. Only just over 50 shots combined for both teams, so definitely not at the same caliber of pace as the last one.
Yeah, but it's been more of the easy buckets too, which has been surprising because these two teams have been very flashy. They take those, I mean, specifically Seton Hill takes those deep threes. They've been making them all year, and California takes everything in between.
Dillon, give it the runaround. Can't get the layup to go. The second attempt by Curtis is no good as well. And the Vulcans. And Collins able to bring it past the timeline. Nice jumping grab by Lucas to pull in that pass. Arnett inside. Can't get the shot to go, but Arnett fouled in the process.
Yeah, and I think that's what the Vulcans have been wanting all game. Has just been able to get those paint fouls and send themselves to the line. I know something that DJ Slaughter's already tried to. I mean, you saw around 2 or 3 offensive possessions ago. He had the ball. He just tucked it under because he thought he would get enough contact, and he wasn't able to get himself enough of a good shot for a point as Arnett misses the first one.
Yeah, the redshirt freshman out of Summerdale, New Jersey, shooting 59.1% from the line on the season. Misses the first, but able to drain the second. 6-point game here for Cal. 31-25 the score. The Vulcans shooting 52% from the field in this game. Doesn't seem like it.
No, but I mean, if we're talking efficiency, Antoine Arnett is 1 for it. I mean, he's 10 for 12 in his past 3 games, and he takes a hard fall.
Yeah, wet up trying to contest Curtis as he drove inside. And like you said, Arnett took a hard hit into the ground and still has not been able to make his way up. Collins able to help him to his feet. Hopefully everything's all right with him. Like I said, missed the entirety of last season due to injury. Redshirted his freshman year, but has been able to step up in a big way here for the Vulcans this season, playing a valuable 18 minutes off the bench here for California, putting up, like you said, great efficiency from a big man inside, shooting, what is that, almost 70% from the field on the season.
And I know it's a stat that I looked at specifically last night when we were making our sheets, but something that was so impressive to me is just how efficient this Vulcan team is. They take efficient shots. And, I mean, it shows they're number 1 in all Division II for efficient field goal percentage, meaning that they take efficient shots, they take the easy ones, and they score.
Curtis able to knock down both free throws. But coming into the game, the Vulcans shooting about 54% from the field, 39% from 3 as well, and ranking first in the PSAC in both categories. Continuing to do that here today is Slaughter trying to pass it off to McClurg, loses control of it, and ends up into the hands of Belade. Belade takes the switch, passes it off to Curtis. Curtis crossover, trying to drive in the lane, trying to blow past McClurg, and he blows past him indeed. Able to get himself inside. 6 points now for Kendrick Curtis.
Yeah, and I mean, it's as I mentioned earlier, it's just taking advantage of the easy buckets and putting themselves in the paint. It's been very smart offensive play here from the Griffins.
Hall up, gets it to go, and the foul. Drove straight at Curtis underneath. And Hall just great when he's able to get himself in the air. And that time able to finish it off again and has a chance to convert another 3-point play.
I mean, yeah, if I'm a defender, I'm shivering my timbers. I mean, I really don't want to go up against him if I'm a defender. I mean, he's one of the most athletic players I have seen in a hot minute. I mean, when he gets himself in the air, you don't know if he's going to dunk and send you to another dimension, or he's going to give you the most athletic layup you've ever seen.
6'5", 205 for the senior out of Baltimore, Maryland. 10 points now for him, leading all scorers. 5-point lead here for California as we're under 2 minutes to go. Mice able to drive, and a nice reverse layup up and under. 3-point game now. Collins. Now Hall. Hall guarded by Mice. 16 on the shot clock. Lucas, turn around. Brings it back out. Nice crossover move to create some space. Can't get the 3-point shot to go. Moon able to pull on the board.
Yeah, and Lucas shooting 26% on the year. He's only made 6 out of 23 so far this year, but that doesn't stop him from scoring. He's been shooting from inside the paint with a 59% field goal percentage, averaging around 11 on the year.
We rank him 3rd in the conference in field goal percentage as the shot by Dillon, no good, and Dillon fell down in the Vulcans trying to capitalize in transition. Nice pass from Lucas to find Slaughter, who traverses the baseline beautifully. Collins able to pull in the pass, finds Hall inside. Hall able to turn around, find Lucas, and Lucas with a tough bucket over top of Green.
Yeah, and I mean, the entire bench there of Seton Hill and Coach Wilkins not happy.
Mice, three-pointer, no good. And the Griffins, after a great start, have kind of slowed things down as Coach Sankum going to call a timeout. It seemed a bit rushed by Seton Hill. Maybe wanted to try to get the 2-for-1, trying to get the shot off quickly, and if they're able to make it, would get the ball back after the Vulcan possession. But Mice started off, like you said, one of the better three-point shooters in the entirety of the PSAC. They started off 3 for 3 from the field, but have missed their last 10, which has seen them fall to 33% from the field overall in this game, which has seen the Vulcans get back into the lead. The Vulcans shooting almost 54% from the field, 43% from three as well. California have been able to stabilize this game. They've been able to take advantage of a couple of missed opportunities from the Griffins.
And I mean, it's a good story here because, I mean, looking at this Griffins team, they were one that, similar to California last year, just struggled a little bit into the early season, but made a heck of a run going into the later half and found themselves in the PSAC playoffs. And they faced off against these Vulcans here, and they did lose in that PSAC first round as the Vulcans went on to eventually lose in that second round to the Crimson Hawks of IUP. But it's an interesting history and good matchup here between these two.
Yeah, Coach Wilkins for the Griffins really turning this program around after a rough couple of seasons. 25-17 in his 2 seasons so far at the helm. McClurg with the three-pointer. Can't get it to go, not even the friendly roll. Shot clock has gone dark here at the end of the first half. 14 on the clock as we wind things down. Dylan, 8 to go. Dylan on the drive, looking for an option, losing the handle all over it. And Lucas able to strip it away and just chucks it down the court at the end of the buzzer. The shot won't go, and that will be the end of the first half here in the Convocation Center. California 36, Seton Hill 31. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back for the second half between the Vulcans and the Griffins here on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Network.
Are you a Penn West California student looking to get involved in media? You have 2 great choices, and for both, all majors are welcome. CUTV is the home for Vulcan sports. Be a part of 80-plus live games both home and on the road. We're looking for announcers, camera operators, graphic operators, and much more. There are also opportunities to develop your own shows. Go to our YouTube page, CUTV Sports 1, and see all of the content. WCAL Radio gives you the opportunity to play your music and develop your own show. Be heard locally over the air in a 40-mile radius and worldwide online. That's 91.9 FM, Power 92. SAI Media of CUTV and WCAL. Get out, join up, be seen, and be heard.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Convocation Center as we begin the second half here between California and Seton Hill. The Vulcans, after a slow start, able to take a 5-point lead, 36-31 into halftime. John Saint, Nate Kurtz still with you, and it's been a game so far.
Oh yeah, it's been a game of all time.
It's definitely been one of the games, but like I said, slower compared to what the Vulcans faced off in the last couple of games. That, especially back-to-back Westchester and Gannon, two very high-scoring, fast-paced games. But this one, definitely a bit of a slower feel to it. But the Vulcans need to get used to it, as in the upcoming stretch, 2 away games after this little home stretch, at the Rock on Saturday, then at Clarion on Wednesday, right after the spring semester begins, before hosting UPJ. The following week, all PSAC gets a break on that Saturday before traveling up to Erie to face off against Mercyhurst, and then traveling to IUP to face off against the Crimson Hawks. So 4 out of the next 5 games for the Vulcans on the road. So you need to be able to make the most out of this little homestead they have here coming off of the new year.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting scene to look at the West so far. I mean, I think coming into this year, we definitely expected Cal to be up there, but I think at this time of year, we expected IUP to be back up on number 1. I think we expected Gannon and Mercyhurst to be in the conversation, and for the most part, it has happened. But I think what's really been surprising is that slow start that IUP had, and now California has just been off to a blazing hot start here so far this year. But looking around the rest of the West here, I know this isn't fully up to date, but last time we have our score check here in Gannon against Edinburgh, Gannon leading 55-27. Clarion against UPJ, Golden Eagles 74-55 up on the Panthers of UPJ. And a bit of a surprising one here was Indiana was down to Mercyhurst going into the second half, 26-37, I believe, but now it has changed around. It is 39-41 in favor of the Crimson Hawks of Indiana.
Yeah, 15-16 left to go here in that game. The Crimson Hawks on an 8-0 run over the Lakers of Mercyhurst. It's a game that has some potential to shake up the standings a little bit. Like you said, the Vulcans sitting a half game up on the Crimson Hawks in first place, 6-1 in conference, 12-1 overall. Like you said, IUP lost a couple of games early on in the season, but sit 8-4 overall, 5-1 in conference play, followed in third place by Gannon, then Seton Hill, then Mercyhurst, then Clarion, then UPJ, Slippery Rock, and Edinburgh round out the PSAC West. And like you said, it's been a bit of a shakeup. Like you said, we expected great things out of this California team. I think we had some high expectations. We kind of foresaw this leap, but maybe not for a lot of the teams. But Gannon kind of sprung out of nowhere. Mercyhurst having a slow start, traditionally one of the best teams in conference play. UPJ, after John Paul Krompka's graduation, has not been able to live up to their expectations the last couple of seasons. And like you said, IUP having some early season woes doesn't find them at the top of the conference, but still a lot of season left to play, and that's the beauty of college basketball, as the season starts early and it goes on forever. As we begin the second half, first possession in the hands of the Griffins. The turnaround hook is good that time by Whitaker, able to get that one in over Lucas.
Yeah, shooting 55 on the year. That's the type of shot that you definitely want to start the quarter off with. It's simple, it's easy, but you know what? That's 2 simple points onto the board. Makes this a 3-point game.
Paul inside, gets that one knocked away. Thought maybe there was some contact. He definitely wanted the call, but the referees do not blow the whistle. Whitaker. Crossover move, but Hall, quick hands, able to smack that one away. And Slaughter able to get the offensive position going here. And Lucas, nice pass to find McClurg, and McClurg able to contort himself in the air. Can't get the shot to go. KJ to make his way back to the line, a place where we see him quite often. 85 for 101 on the season from the free throw line is KJ McClurg.
Well, yeah, because I know we say it every single game, and I mean, it's just, I'm sorry, but it's true. He's just so good at contorting himself and drawing the fouls within the paint. And I mean, he's just such a good shooter too. I mean, there's not much else you could say about KJ that we haven't said. It's just he's so good at this game. And it was such a good offensive possession by the Vulcans. I mean, after that good defensive steal they had there. I mean, Jermaine Hall, he pointed up. I think he wanted the lob from Slaughter, but Slaughter just slows the play down, finds KJ just cutting across down the paint. Simple, easy bucket.
Clavenitis up to Mice. Mice now inside to Whitaker. Whitaker trying to drive at Lucas. Can't get the layup attempt to go. Collins nearly loses a handle on it. Able to find, nice pass by Hall underneath to Lucas. Great ball movement by the Vulcans. Slaughter to Hall, and Hall with a no-look behind the back pass.
And I mean, he's just such a flashy player. How can you not love to watch him?
Mice three-pointer, no good. Whitaker offensive board. Second possession here for the Griffins. Mice spinning away from Hall. Another load of the shot, and that one off the mark as well.
And I mean, that's a shot that if you're the Griffins here, you definitely want him to make at least once. I mean, you know, you're down to a 6-point game here. We're early off in the second, but can mean big time when we're in the later half of the second. Beautiful
spin move by Hall, but left the right-hand hook too short. The Griffins, 12 straight missed threes. Starting off 3 for 3, now 3 for 15 on the afternoon. Whitaker with the strong drive, but can't get the spin that he wanted on the ball. The Vulcans and Collins pass it off to Slaughter. Slaughter inside, up to Hall. Hall fakes the pass, able to find Collins in the corner for 3. And Zion Collins able to drain it. Bit of a quiet game for him, but 6 points now on the afternoon, firmly cementing himself in the top 10 Vulcan scoring all time. Has a bit of a way to catch up to number 8, but will definitely do so in this season as Sklevenicus on the drive. His shot won't go. Green, but the tip won't go either. And Lucas wanted it quickly up the court as Collins wide open for 3. Can't get it to go, and the roll didn't do him any favors. And Hall trying to fight for the offensive board ends up touching that one out of play.
Yeah, and I mean, the offense is just sort of slowed down here for the Griffins. I mean, they had such a hot start to start off, but I mean, they've definitely cooled down here. And I mean, you definitely see it within the play of Whitaker. 3 straight offensive possessions. Starts it off well with a nice, easy layup down under, but in the second one, gets too much of a spin, and in that third one, I believe he just not able to find himself above the rim where he wanted.
Yeah, the Griffins, 1 for their last 8 as Whitaker able to get inside past Slaughter. And everyone not happy about that call as Slaughter caught a piece of Whitaker. A bit of a late whistle. And we saw Coach Sankum and Hall not happy about the call. 9-point game. Hall's first, the team's first of the half, and Whitaker shooting 56.7% on the season at the line. Whitaker able to knock down the first. Well, listen, I want to give a huge shout out to Coach Wilkins there for the Griffins. I mean, the season before he took over in the 2021-22 season, they were 3-24, 3-19 in conference play, finished dead last in the PSAC West. For his first season, 16-13 led them to an in-conference playoffs. It has gotten him off to a good start this season as Lucas is going to make his way to the line after the nice passing play that time by Collins.
Yeah, and I mean, normally you could probably look at a team like this and just say, oh, well, I mean, they're just trying something different to stand out, you know, that being the 2-3 zone. But, I mean, it works so well for them on the defensive side of the ball, and it allows them to create such a unique offense with it as well. And, I mean, if you haven't noticed it, I don't think we've talked about it much, but the amount of substitutions that Coach Wilkins makes is also just so heavy. He keeps players in and out of the game, making sure they're energized, making sure they're on the court at all times with that full bar of energy.
Yeah, Ken to Gannon, where we saw them making the line changes, making substitutions every 2-3 minutes, just getting out there, using all the energy you have, and getting off the court. As Lucas makes both free throws, leading all scorers now, a quiet 12 points for Bryson Lucas in this game. Mice tries to cross up Collins, but Collins able to steal it away, and Collins tried and is able to draw the contact in the open court. Mice going to get called for the foul, but Collins wanted it in the shooting motion, but the referee waving off the basket.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that foul call either. I thought Collins definitely leaned himself into that one a little bit and tried to force Mies into a position to draw that foul. And yeah, an unfortunate play there.
That'll be a timeout for the Griffins. 16:23 left to go here in the first half. 44-34 the score. The Vulcans able to balloon it to a 10-point lead after a bit of an interesting start, but the Vulcans on an 8-1 run in the last 3.5 minutes. And as a team, shooting about 52% from the field, 40% from three. So they've really been able to capitalize when they've been able to get open looks. But the turnovers have been a problem. 10 turnovers in this game for California, which has been one of the main reasons why the Griffins have been able to remain in the game.
Yeah, and I mean, what's hurt the Griffins too is just not been making the shots that they normally would be hitting. I mean, you see definitely Ryan Mies, he's 2 for 9, 1 for 6 from the three-point line, and Demetrios Sklaventes already having some trouble as well, 2 for 7 from the field. They've been putting their mark on the board, and they've been passing the eye test, but statistically it's just not been working for them. And I mean, what was once, I mean, a 4 or 5 point lead for the Griffins is now turned into a 10-point deficit for them early on in the second.
Yeah, their largest lead of this game was 7. About 5 minutes into that first half. Their last lead, 6-11 in the first half, so the Vulcans able to control it for the large majority of the end of the first half and the beginning of the second half. Nice inbound play, but Hall wide open, just couldn't get it to go. Again, another one that seemed just too good to be true, and ended up being so for Jermaine Hall. As spin move in the lane that time by Curtis, no good, and Hall able to pull in the rebound.
And I mean, it's just been physical basketball so far throughout this entirety of this game. I mean, it's been tight, physical type of gameplay, just brooding bodies, and I mean, it's been entertaining to watch, to say the least.
Slaughter just looking for some space, able to find Hall. Three-pointer for him, off the mark, and a nice rebound that time once again by Curtis, just fighting off a couple of the Vulcans inside of the paint, the 6'7" freshman. Mice able to find Dylan. Dylan double screen. Back over to Mice, 13 on the shot clock here for the Griffins. Mice now going baseline, trying to work up against Lucas, trying to find the angle, pass it off to Dylan. 6 on the shot clock, needs to get one off. Contested three-pointer off the mark. McClurg able to secure the rebound there for Cal.
Yeah, and again, it's just this offense has gone cold. They're not finding the looks that they want to, and it's just forcing them to throw the ball around and not get the possessions that they want.
Hall, nice pass to Lucas, and Lucas can't quite get the finish he wanted, but fouled in the process, and Bryson Lucas will make his way back to the line. And that will take us to immediate timeout with 15:04 to go. California 44, Seton Hill 34. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back here on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Network.
Are you a Penn West California student looking to get involved in media? You have 2 great choices, and for both, all majors are welcome. CUTV is the home for Vulcan sports. Be a part of 80-plus live games both home and on the road. We're looking for announcers, camera operators, graphic operators, and much more. There are also opportunities to develop your own shows. Go to our YouTube page, CUTV Sports 1, and see all of the content. WCAL Radio gives you the opportunity to play your music and develop your own show. Be heard locally over the air in a 40-mile radius and worldwide online. That's 91.9 FM, Power 92. SAI Media of CUTV and WCAL. Get out, join up, be seen, and be heard.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Convocation Center. 15:04 remains here in the second half of play. The Vulcans, the 10-point lead, 44-34 over the Griffins of Seton Hill. And the Vulcans in this second half been off to a good start, leading the scoring 8-3, but the Griffins 1 for 8 from the field in the second half, 0 for 3 from 3. And it's just been just a bit of a slog and a bit of just trying just to push through it, but the Griffins have unable to be able to get the lid off of the basket from behind the arc.
Yeah, and I think one of the more surprising headlines to come from this game so far has just been how quiet KJ McClurg has been on the offensive side of the ball. He's made 2 shots and he's made a free throw, so that puts him at 5 points and 5 rebounds. And I mean, he's contributed, very well on the defensive side of the ball too. But I think if you've been watching all these games so far this year, you watched them last year too, I think you've come to expect KJ to, at this point in the game, have a commanding lead and have near 20 points.
Again, though, this is a Vulcans team there. Everyone eats in this kitchen on the offensive side of the ball. Everyone is doing their part, getting some points, and so far, 13 for Lucas, 10 for Hall. Whitaker inside, no good. And Hall able to just punch the rebound away. Collins now in transition. Nice move and able to get the left-handed layup in past Moon. And McClurg able to draw the charge as Whitaker driving inside just lowered the shoulder into the chest of McClurg. And McClurg able to pull off the charge. Something that he and a lot of the other Vulcans do quite well is just, you're a team playing this well, you have to be able to showing off the effort. And even in a game when you're winning by a decent margin, still putting in the effort through and through all the way.
Yeah, and what a beating KJ takes almost every single time he's on this court. Every time he's on a basketball court, I swear KJ's just getting punched and thrown around.
3 in the corner for him, and he knocks it down. Using that charge to give himself some energy. Green inside, and Green can't get the shot to go. Lucas gets the board. Slaughter trying to get the behind the back crossover, but Dylan steals it away. Dylan gets it blocked away by Lucas. Are you kidding me?
There's no way Bryson Lucas just sent him to SWAT City on a Wednesday night.
Lucas disrespecting the man. He's got a family. He's got friends.
He's probably got a class next week.
He's probably, he absolutely has a class. And go back to school, man. That was ridiculous from Bryson Lucas. And that's something that last year the Vulcans missed. They ranked dead last in blocks a game. They had some size in Palick and in Hall, but not really the inside defender, rim protecting threats as Lucas is. Had 5 blocks in a game a few weeks ago, which is the most in a game this season by a player in the PSAC. Has another one there as Dylan. 3-pointer off the inbound, no good, and Lucas able to pull in the rebound as well. Double-double for him in this game, 13 points, 10 boards now for Bryson Lucas.
Yeah, and again, the Griffin offense just gone quiet, not finding the shots they want. And as you're seeing now, it's just this 2-3 defense. We saw it again in that PSAC playoff game. We saw it in the 2 games earlier that year, too. It's just the Vulcans were able to play the clock and were able to eventually pick apart the defense and then force that offense of the Griffins into just messy mistakes and throwing the ball around, not finding the possessions that they want.
3-pointer in the corner is good. That time, Curtis able to knock that one down. First one in a hot minute for the Griffins, all the way back in the first half. As Hall able to get by Moon, but a foul. That one's going to go against Moon. Will stay on the floor. But Lucas, a lot of these big men for the Vulcans so involved in the passing offense. Hall and Lucas ranking high in assists per game. 3 in this game for Lucas, 3 for Hall. 5 for Collins as well. Slaughter, nice give and go between him and Collins, but DJ just maybe a size too big on the shoes, just couldn't get back inbounds in time. A great idea by the Vulcans, but just couldn't quite pull off the execution.
Yeah, and I'm expecting this much from Zion. He's had the Griffins' numbers the entirety of his collegiate career. Through 5 games played against the Griffins, he's had 17 points on average, around 5.8 rebounds as well, and usually getting himself a block in the mix as well.
Curtis, he would pass off to Mice, deep 3 from him, no good. Lucas grabs himself another board. Collins, nice dribble moves, finds Slaughter in the corner for 3, and Slaughter too short. Mice grabs the board for the Griffins, now quickly the other way. Green gets 2 people to bite at it. It gets brought down to the ground after his shot attempt, and Drew Green is going to head back to the line, a foul. I believe against Bryson Lucas. Or it's going to go against Slaughter, excuse me. His second, the team's second. Drew Green back to the line.
And I know I mentioned it almost every single time I'm on the headset. Fouls are such an important part to the game of basketball. Can take players in and could put players out too. And you're definitely seeing that now in the foul disadvantage here for the Griffins. With 6 on the period as a whole, and you have 3 players who have at least 2 or more.
Arnett going to check back in here for California. Like you said, the fouls have been, especially Lucas, has been a bit of a struggle for him in Hall this season, but the Vulcans only 6 fouls spread amongst them in this game compared to 12 for the Griffins, as Green made the first, missed the second. And KJ grabs himself another rebound. Under 12 and a half to go here in the Convocation Center. Collins finds Hall inside. Hall spinning around, just looking for an option. Loses dribble in the corner. Nice pass into space, and Collins able to match it. Collins finds Slaughter inside. Slaughter over to McClurg. 5 on the shot clock. McClurg going baseline, finds Collins. 3-pointer in the corner. Shot waved off. Zion just stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, and I mean, the possession, not able to find anything, but again, what a display that Jermaine Hall puts whenever he's on the court. That was, I mean, he had almost no vision in that corner, couldn't see anything, but he knows where Zion's going to be, knows he's going to try and take the cut to the corner, and throws that ball, able to find himself a Luka Doncic-esque pass.
Mice finally able to knock down the dead-away, straightaway 3. 8 points now for him. 11-point game. And Coach Sankum going to take a timeout with 11:38 left to go here in the second half. And the Griffins able to knock down another 3-pointer after a long stretch without one. A 7-0 run here for Seton Hill in the last 2 minutes. And it looked very comfortable for California. Their lead up to 18 points, but Seton Hill not going quietly into the night. Have been able to claw themselves back just a little bit. Still have a long way to go, but have shown that they might be down, but they're not out.
No, and I know we very slightly mentioned it, but it's this 3-point defense from the Vulcans, which is just so impressive. I mean, they're holding them to around 30% on the year, and I mean, if you look at the stat sheet here, they're holding the 5 to 20 for tonight with a 25% from 3. Yeah. I mean, in the beginning, definitely looked a bit rough. Thought maybe that Seton Hill would try and rely on the 3 game, but heading into the latter half of the game, you're definitely seeing the opposite.
I want to give a good shout out to looking at some stats on the page. Bryson Lucas in this game, like I said, already has a double-double. 13 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and a block, really filling up the stat sheet in this game is Bryson Lucas, and has done so all season. Like you said, just a player sorely missed by the Vulcans last season. I mean, he would have been huge, especially in that down the stretch is leading into the playoffs, just having that caliber of player on the team. But with his addition, with the additions of a couple others, especially in Arnett as well, have really been able to make the defense. And the Vulcans, after the timeout, McClurg just trying to split through the C. Got fouled in the process. Already the 7th foul of the half for the Griffins, which when you're trying to come back into the game is not something you want to see, as the Vulcans now in the bonus. Whitaker picks up his 3rd, and KJ back to the line.
And Coach Wilkins is starting to get a little unhappy here heading into this latter half of the game too. He wants defense executed to perfection, and I think he was a bit upset with Slovenitis, if I can see that correctly. And I mean, you're definitely seeing that this defense starting to get weak and starting to get picked apart a lot easier here by this Vulcan offense.
Yeah, whenever you're able to make shots, it makes it a lot easier. Green gets it off to Slovenitis. Now Curtis underneath, just trying to spin away. Great defense by Hall. And able to steal that one away. 2-on-2 the other way. Hall Euro step in the lane. Can't get the reverse layup to go.
What a smart defensive play by Hall on that last defensive possession. He knows that DJ has him locked in there in the paint, so he just finagles himself around, knowing that his defender, knowing that the offender of Curtis just was not paying attention. He's able to slip that ball out for a nice offensive possession. Not able to find anything out of it after a fancy Euro step, but you're now seeing why this Vulcan offense has put themselves back in the control seat.
And Curtis able to right his wrongs, got back, got the rebound, just took it coast to coast. Great power as he was able to make his way down the court. And it was Slaughter who got underneath the basket and tried to draw the charge. It's going to end up being a blocking foul. Kedrick Curtis is going to make his way back to the line. Slaughter picked up his third. Curtis shooting about 75% on the season, 74.4 from the line. Has 9 points already in this game. Isn't going to find his 10th quite yet. Lucas comes back in. Slaughter to the bench after picking up his third foul.
And I mean, that's one player that you always need to keep your eye on is DJ Slaughter, and set himself a good night here. I mean, I know we mentioned earlier he's only averaging 2 points on the season. So far, he's had 8 points tonight, 3 for 5 shooting, 2 threes, and he's been a valuable part of this Vulcan offense, not just this season, but last and really throughout his entire career.
Another player really filling up the stat sheet. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal in this game as well. Nice jump pass from Lucas to find McClurg, and McClurg driving inside, draws a contact again. Because of that, and so that one's going to go against Green, his first, the team's 8th, and this is the struggle when you're in foul trouble this early on in the half. There's still just under 11 minutes to go. McClurg misses the free throw, but the Vulcans 2 fouls away from entering the double bonus for the remainder of the half.
I mean, that's not a shot you expect KJ to miss. I know it's usually that, and it's the free throw line, it's the corner 3, which are his favorite spots on the court. And not that it means too much as of right now, but you definitely want him to get an extra point on the board. Instead of worrying, is Bryson Lucas another block onto the stat sheet.
Being able to just block that one away from Curtis, and Curtis gets it back, and easy as you like, able to just outbody McClurg underneath the basket. 10-point game, 10-12 to go, 54-44 the score. Hall gets it to Lucas, inside Lucas, trying to find the cutting McClurg, ends up in the hands of Arnett, and that ball just got sent away and ends up in the hands of Mice. Mice crossover, deep 3 from him, all the way back to Bethel Park, and able to drain that one.
And again, that's a player you want to come hot in this second half of the game. I know he kind of went cold heading into the end of the first and the beginning of the second, but I mean, when somebody who can hit threes as easy as he can starts to come alive, I think you're in for a dangerous game.
Yeah. Game cut down to single digits as Collins, just silky smooth jumper just inside. Double-digit points now for the senior. Makes it a 9-point game. Mice and Green playing some give and go. Mice pass it off. Whitaker inside. High hook won't go. 3-on-2 the other way. Hall quickly just going up, attacking the Griffins at the rim. No foul call, but the Vulcans able to get the ball back. Hall forcing a player to jump, but can't get the roll to go.
And I'm surprised that first shot that he took wasn't called for the foul, but I mean, great awareness by Jermaine Hall Jr., just able to find himself out of the mess of Bonnies, get him the ball back, and with the situational awareness, just to put himself back up against the 2 defenders and put himself to the line.
Yeah, Hall that time just attacked Curtis inside. Still ends up at the free throw line regardless. Able to knock down the first, came into the game shooting just over 62% on the season, 3 for 3 on the afternoon from the charity stripe. 13 points now for him, tied for the leading scorer for both teams with Bryson Lucas. Has a chance to surpass him here. 10-point game. Remains perfect on the afternoon from the free throw line. 14 points now for him. 11-point lead now here for California. Under 9 to go here in regulation. Dillon trying to pass it off. That pass a little bit behind. 3-pointer in the corner from Green, and Green able to knock it down. And the Griffins getting hot from behind the arc. 4 for their last 5 from 3 after missing 12 in a row.
Yeah, and I mean, I mentioned that they've gone cold shooting the threes and how good this defense is, but almost immediately afterwards, you start to see this Seton Hill Griffin offense just come alive again, and it's nothing but fun to watch, especially when you're seeing this high-octane three-point type of offense.
Like I said, they're not going to go quietly into the night. So far, they've made sure that this will remain a game. Lucas receives the inbound pass from Collins, who waits to hand it back off to him. 13 on the shot clock. Lucas inside. Brings it back out now. Dribble drive, inside pass to Hall, and Hall with a feint right hand, able to get that one to go.
Yeah, and I mean, it's good for Jermaine. He's starting to get his scoring touch back here. He's one of the best in the entirety of the conference within just efficiency. He has 48% on the year from the field.
Moon's three way too short. And the jump ball called after Brewer. Able to rip that one away from Lucas. That'll take us to immediate timeout with 8 minutes exactly to go here in the game. California 60, Seton Hill 50. And we do have a final. IUP 66, Mercyhurst 54. And after a slow first half from the Crimson Hawks, they were able to get it done in the end.
And I mean, a lot of that comes on the back of Ethan Porterfield. I know that's one of the biggest returning players in the entirety of the conference that I think everyone has to keep their eyes on. And how impressive he's been in his college career. He put 18 up tonight, and what a nice comeback win for the Crimson Hawks.
And then another final, Clarion 84, UPJ 74. The Golden Eagles 51 points in the second half. Went into the second half trailing by 4, was able to get a comfortable 10-point win in the end over the
Panthers.
Over the Panthers. And then a game just entering the second half. Gannon 64, Edinburgh 38. The Golden Knights just trying to bounce back after a couple of rough games in a row. And I mean, looking at the shooting percentages from their team, so far in that game, Gannon have missed maybe 5 shots all night.
And I mean, it's so surprising because if you were here with us on CUTV or WCL last week or on the last game, it was a completely different story. This was a team that couldn't hit their shots. This was a team that wasn't necessarily getting good offensive looks. And we're only really finding anything from the charity stripe. But, I mean, it's a testament to how well that team is coached by Coach Fee and just how good they truly are. I mean, they're number 1 in the entirety of Division II in almost every offensive category, and by a decent margin, too.
Gannon doing the California in that game, shooting 71% from the field. McClurg, pump fake, pull up 3-2, strong. And Green able to pull in the rebound over top of Arnett and Lucas. Green. Nice, strong crossover. Pass it off to Dylan. Dylan back over to Green. Green passed Hall. Green inside, and Green can't get the layup to go. Fouled. The bench ready for the 3-point play, but be another foul, I believe, going to go against Antoine Arnett. His third, the team's 4th. Drew Green makes his way back to the line.
And I mean, in the last game these two teams played against each other was that playoff game. Drew Green was one of the X factors in that game, scoring 13 points, had 3 rebounds and 3 steals for himself as well. I know in that game the biggest headline was probably Samuel Tabe, who was sorely missed by this Griffin team with 21 points. I think Drew Green coming into this game, averaging 9 on the season, being an efficient player in his own right, is very important going forward.
Makes both free throws. 8-point game once again. 14 points, excuse me, now. Never mind, back to 15. I can't read. 15 points now for Drew Green in this game. Lucas and Collins playing back and forth. Nice hot potato pass, and Arnett able to jam it home.
Yeah, sends him the Jam City. Sent him straight on the sails, and he shivered his timbers. What a play by Antoine Arnett.
Man has seen the Magna Carta. He's done some stuff. As Moon able to get a foul called once again. McClurg, the guilty party, and a size mismatch on the inside. 6'9" Jimmy Moon up against 6'3" KJ McClurg, and Moon gets the better end of it.
And what a play by Antoine Arnett. I mean, he saw the Magna Carta. He did see the eye of horror, and the eyes and the vision on that play. What an impressive offensive possession. What a great send to the illustrious Jam City, which it seems that we're getting almost every single game here now.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Neither do I.
Moon able to make his first point of the game for Jimmy Moon. Still remains a 9-point game, 6:55 to go. Collins finds Lucas. Lucas bounce pass underneath to find Arnett. Arnett surrounded by the entirety of the team, able to get his own board. Hall pass it out to Collins. Arnett now in the corner. The Vulcans swinging around. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Hall high pass, able to find Arnett. Arnett jump pass to Lucas. 2 on the shot clock. Fade away from Lucas. Too short. That'll be a shot clock violation. Definitely not the cleanest of offensive possessions from California. Great defensive stop by the Griffins. And Green going to make his way out of the game. Whitaker going to come back in.
Yeah, and I know I've been saying that this California offense has picked apart the 2-3 zone that the Griffins have been running for most of the game, but that still does not stop this defense from just being impressive as it is. And a good shout out to our good buddy Colin, who a bit of a rough night with the Frostburg State Bobcats.
Watching them lose 105-60 to Western Liberty as Dillon able to drive past Arnett, trying to find that bounce pass underneath to Whitaker, ends up out of play. 8 on the shot clock here for the Griffins after the inbound. Their upcoming schedule at Clarion, then versus Mercyhurst and IUP at home, and then at Edinburgh, then hosting UPJ. So a tough stretch of games for the Griffins. So both teams having a lot to play for here early on. Moon receives the inbound. 6 on the shot clock. Moon just trying to pass it off. Whitaker working against Hall, and Hall, stout defense, forces the miss from Whitaker.
And I mean, as you mentioned, it is such an important road stretch here. Just such an important stretch that this Griffin team has upcoming, as you know, they're a very good team and they're going to be facing off against some tough opponents.
Collins able to knock down the mid-range jumper. Him and Lucas playing that give and go, akin to them just beating Gannon on Saturday, just how they were able to break that press as Mice in the corner for 3, and too strong. Whitaker offensive board, able to get past Lucas with the great inside body positioning, and able to get himself another basket. Game still remains at 9, still a 9-point gap, and both teams, California can't really extend. Seton Hill can't really pull it any closer so far. Lucas inside, bringing it back out. Collins bounce pass to Hall in the corner for 3. Hall too strong. Moon able to pull in the board.
Yeah, I mean, this Griffin offense too has done something that I don't think we've mentioned yet. It's just rebound the ball. You know, it's something this Vulcan team has struggled with, and even though they are leading in the rebound department, they haven't been able to find the boards on the offense that they would be wanting to look for. And I mean, the Griffins have been able to take advantage of the second chance points.
That's going to be a timeout for Seton Hill. 4:50 left to go. California 64, Seton Hill 55. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back here on CUTV, CUTV Sports 1, and the PSAC Network.
Regardless of the season, follow all the action with CUTV Sports. From the gridiron to the hardwood, the pitch and the diamond, CUTV Sports has you covered with almost 100 live games a year. With multiple camera angles, graphics, announcers, and replays for 37 seasons, CUTV Sports is your home for Vulcan athletics. Get out of the huddle and into the action with CUTV Sports.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Convocation Center. 4:50 left to play here in the second half. California 64, Seton Hill 55. And the Griffins have been able to battle it back. I mean, the Vulcans in the second half not shooting the way that they normally are. 9 for 20 from the field, 2 for 7 from 3. The Griffins have been able to get some nice defensive stops, and Whitaker off the inbound, able to blow by Lucas, and able to draw in some contact. Jermaine Hall Jr. will pick up his first foul. The team's 6th. Whitaker is going to make his way back to the line.
Yeah, and I mean, you're definitely seeing a great switch around from what we had earlier. The Vulcans once holding an 18-point lead earlier in the second half, but has now just been nursed down to around a 9-point lead and almost an 8-point lead.
Whitaker 1 for 3 now on the afternoon from the charity stripe. Able to drain the second, 2 for 4 now. 10 points for him. An 8-point game here in the Convocation Center. One of the final ones before the beginning of the next semester. It's McClurg in the corner for 3. Too strong. And a foul on the floor.
That's going to be an over-the-back foul by Whitaker.
And that one will go against Whitaker. His 4th in the team's 10th. So the Vulcans now firmly into the double bonus. Bryson Lucas to the line.
And I know I mentioned earlier about the foul trouble. That's another person you don't want to come out of the game if you are the Griffins. Caleb Whitaker already having 10 points on the night. I know he's missed some important shots and some easy ones, but he's also contributed 6 rebounds to the mix as well.
Just a big piece to your team. And Lucas misses the second, 14 points for him. 14 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks for Bryson Lucas. Just really doing it all in this game for California. Nice pass inside to Whitaker, and Whitaker gets it to go, and the foul over top of Lucas. Caleb Whitaker has a chance to make a 3-point play.
And it's so weird to say this, but Bryson Lucas picking up his first foul in the later into the second half, and I mean it's something he's improved upon in these past 2 or 3 games. He's just, you know, maneuvering himself a little more carefully and not drawing out those fouls to the other teams. And Whitaker taking advantage of it, but not able to find the free throw.
And Whitaker with just some great offensive positioning inside, just able to just zone Lucas off. 7-point game, 4:05 left to go. Lucas fakes the pass to Hall, brings it back out, and now on the drive, Lucas takes it himself. Moon with some great defense, but Lucas able to get the ball back in his possession. 7 on the shot clock. The Vulcans need to get one off. Collins gets past Mice, and Collins with the runner, able to get that one to go.
And I mean, it's so hard to not be such a good defensive player when you're 6'9", 240. Jimmy Moon makes it look easy. And I mean, what a shot by Zion Collins. I know we've sung his praises so much this season because he's just such a good shooter. He's such a good defensive player. He's good on both ends of the court.
Has such a beautiful jumper as well, and Hall nearly able to steal that one away. And Green in the corner, too strong. And a fight for the board ends up into the hands of Arnett, who's able to dive on the floor for it. Great effort from the big man.
And Green got up. He was wincing a bit. He was holding his left arm. Might have fallen a little too hard.
I believe the referee took his own timeout, and I think he noticed the same thing as you, as he saw Green kind of shaken up, and the referee took the timeout on his own to try to give the Griffins an opportunity to get Green out of the game. I mean, not something you see too often, but there's some good sportsmanship. I mean, if you're the Vulcans in that scenario, you definitely don't want to see a player get injured, but if you know that he's kind of struggling a bit, you're definitely going to attack him and try to get yourself a more advantageous opportunity.
No, obviously. I mean, it's terrible to say, but I mean, if the advantage is there in a game as tight as this is, I mean, you're going to take it, and especially now that if you look at the scoreboard, he has 15 points on the board. He's one of the most impactful players for the Griffins, not just tonight, but the entirety of the season. So, I mean, when you see him start to take a little bit of a disadvantage or a dip in his play, I mean, you're going to jump on top of it.
Yeah, the Vulcans will probably not be able to take advantage of that, or at least give Green a little bit more time to recover. Both teams now sitting in the bonus. 7 fouls for California, 10 for the Griffins. So the Vulcans in the double bonus. Seton Hill still shooting 1-1, and it's been a rough second half here for California, from on the offensive side at least. 31 points in the second half, still leading by 4 over the Griffins in total in the second half, but 10 for 23 from the field, 2 for 8 from 3, 9 for 13 from the free throw line, so still not knocking down as many free throws as you would like. You still like to make maybe 1 or 2 more. bump that percentage up, but it's kept the Griffins right in it.
But they have been able to draw a bit more contact. They're beginning to line more. 9 out of 13 on the free throws in the second half alone. Scoring the points where they need them.
Lucas over to McClurg, fakes the pass. Keeps it himself, able to find Hall. Hall gets to his spot inside, and Hall, money.
And again, I know we mentioned Zion's smooth jumper. That's another one. Jermaine Hall Jr. is such a smooth shot. But a simple but easy mid-range he's able to find there puts him up to 18 on the night.
It's just such a great, it's just so good at finding his spots on the floor and able to get to him. That's Clevenitis for 3, too strong. And Hall able to secure a well-needed board. And the Vulcans just looking to just waste some time off the clock here. 69-58 to score, 2:15 left to go here at the end of the second half here in the Convocation Center. Lucas back out to Collins. The Vulcans now 10 to shoot. Pump fake from McClurg. Pass it off to Collins. Collins driving by. Pull-up jumper in the face of Moon. Too short. Lucas fighting for the board. Ends up into the hands of Curtis and the Griffins, who are trying to attack as it's 4-on-3, coast to coast. That time Whitaker able to finish it off.
And Lucas got a little bit of contact, but left himself on the floor a little long there and seeing if he could draw the foul. Nothing came apart there, and the Vulcan defense just not enough men there to be able to stop the fast break. Puts him down at the disadvantage.
Lucas off to McClurg. 9-point game, 69-60. Lucas pass it off to Hall. Over to McClurg, wide open 3 for KJ, and KJ isn't going to miss many more, and he's able to knock that one down.
And I mean, what a moment player, too. Whenever you need him to make a basket, he's the guy you go to because he just knows when it's his time.
Oh, I thought seen a poster for the ages, but great defense from Hall. Forces the miss by Curtis, who now pulls up for 3. Left that one short, and now we're underneath a minute to go here in the Convocation Center. The Vulcans up by 12. McClurg able to get it past half court.
The Griffins aren't able to find a foul here. This is something they needed to get earlier within the minute, but they're not able to find anything.
Yeah, at this point, the Vulcans have taken so much time off the clock. I mean, that was, 15 seconds after the California was able to pull in the rebound before the Griffins were able to get off a foul. He said if they wanted to foul, they needed to do it a long time ago. The Vulcans taking up so much precious time off the clock.
Yeah, and I know, I think it's something we've become accustomed to with the women's games, just how important the later half of the games are and just how important those final few seconds are. I mean, even if it's 1 to 2 seconds, you can see how important it is. I mean, we look back to the loss they had. I believe it was against Gannon. Was that final 3 by Sierra Bermudez, who with just enough time able to chuck something up and gets the fouls, send her to the free throw line.
Yeah, every second is valuable in a game that is very close, but the Vulcans had a bit of a scare, but able to stretch it off to 13. Collins missed the second. 15 points for him. As Whitaker works his way inside, misses the easy layup attempt of Mice. Able to get the board. Runner is good, and the Griffins take a timeout with 29 seconds left exactly on the clock. 11-point game. And I think on the offensive side of the ball, the Griffins showed a few more sparks here in the second half, but just left it too little too late. And they were able to draw it in, but California really was able to hold on and just really steady the ship after a rocky couple of minutes in the middle of that second half. And as the time kept going on, it seemed like Seton Hill were on the precipice of of making the comeback, getting back into this game, but the Vulcans able to get some crucial stops, able to make some crucial buckets. They're going to come down, unless something spectacular happens in the next 29 seconds, they come down with an important win here today.
I think it's just because they've just missed the threes. I mean, we look here, 7 for 27 tonight from the three-point line, 4 out of 14 here in the second half alone. It's something they've struggled with. Started off a little hot and a bit deceiving where you thought maybe it'd look a little nicer. It's going to get a whistle blown.
Yeah, full court press, and the Griffins putting a bit too much pressure onto the Vulcans. As number 14, Brian Balade, picks up his third as he bumped into McClurg on the inbound pass. So McClurg makes his way back down the line.
And Antoine Arnett's going to come in here just to get a little bit more size and that defensive prowess as we head into the final 30 seconds of the game.
Arnett comes back in, Slaughter to the bench. And like you said, you got three absolutely massive guys here for California. You got 6'5" Hall. You got 6'6" Arnett, and then you got 6'6" Lucas standing in the center circle against 6'4" Collins. I mean, Collins, the shortest one out of the bunch, but
doesn't look like it.
Doesn't look like it.
If you stand next to him, I probably would assume you guess he's like around 6 foot or maybe even 5'10".
A lot taller. And he gives off 15 points now for McClurg. Mice on the drive. Nice pass underneath. And a great finish by Whitaker, just able to get past the defenders in Collins and Lucas. 19.4 on the clock. Vulcan just looking to get the ball inbounded, able to find McClurg, and McClurg in the open court draws the contact. And KJ with another trip to the line. Had a bit of a slow game in general by his standards, but McClurg in this second half has really been able to put the pieces together and pick up a decent chunk of his points. Now 15 on the afternoon, pending the free throws. 4 for 9 from the field, 5 for 7 from the free throw line, 2 for 7 from behind the arc, but still filling in when needed. 7 rebounds, 2 assists as well to his name. Able to knock down another free throw.
Green's going to make his way back into the game just for a little bit more offensive firepower as we enter the latter half of the game. And good to see him back on the court. And I know I mentioned that he was wincing a bit after he fell to the ground at around midcourt. So that means definitely at least he's good enough to finish out this game.
13-point lead here for California. Unless they pull off some Tracy McGrady, 12 and was it 23. I don't think the Griffins have a shot as Moon not able to make the three-pointer. Just hasn't connected all night. And that's curtains here on this afternoon in the Convocation Center. The Vulcans win number 13 for the 13th ranked team in the country. Nate, any final thoughts?
Wowie, what a game, and what a season so far these Vulcans have had. And I mean, heck, I can't wait to see it go any further.
I look forward to it. Your final score, California 77, Seton Hill 64. From everyone here at CTV, thank you very much for watching. From our producer, Gary Smith, my name is Jonathan Safe. From my broadcast partner, Nate Kurtz. We'll see you guys all on Saturday when the Vulcans face off against the Rock right here on CTV and the PSAC network. Good night, California.